That blood clot I experienced was painful, although interesting, because I didn't really know what was going on. Because at one time in my life, a hammer or some type of equipment hit my leg, and I had a muscle infection, is what they said. So I chalked it up as that. You know, I'm not a doctor. And I felt this pain, like a little, I don't know, pressure point in my thigh. And I thought about the Bible. I don't remember where it is, but the hand was placed on the inner thigh by a person to a person. So anyway, I kept on going. I kept going. The pain started increasing to the point where, so I'm dying. I'm ready to go home. Although it's not my choice unless I want to commit suicide. And in my book, I don't want to commit suicide. My father will allow me to go home when it's time. So anyway, this blood clot just to the point where I didn't really want anybody knowing about it, because people who have good hearts may pray, and if it was in my will for this to be going on, then it would be overridden by my Father. Although enough prayers our Father will override the suffering, because that's not completely His will, but yet going through suffering increases strength. So either how, I kept going. And then to the point where I went to a hospital and they gave me blood thinners. And they allowed me to sign myself out of the hospital, just like they did when I had that TBI, traumatic brain injury. Just say no to alcohol. But either way, it was like history repeating itself. But yet, I was in a better mental state. Not much better, but better. And I kept fighting the pain. Because, I'll be honest with you, the more I think about what I don't have, it stirs up my emotions. And I do not like emotional roller coasters. I do not like emotional battles. I do not like emotional disturbance. I do not. So that pain was coating what was yet to come. More emotional battles. So I kept fighting it. Fighting the pain. And then I got to New York. And it was all peaceful. Woo! I made it to heaven. Because in my book, New York was chaotic. New York was hateful. New York was gangster. Now, all that stuff is true, but not in the entire whole state. Okay? I mean, that state has that stuff, but it's not in the entire state. Because I was focusing on what TV, media, newspapers were telling me. And I experienced peace in the state of New York. To the point where I went to the bathroom and felt a sharp pain. I mean, it felt like, I don't know if a baseball bat was equivalent, but woo! And of course, 2 people were inside the truck stop, so Ain't showing my weakness. Because at any given time, when weakness is noticed, it gets preyed upon. So I kept going. I got back to my truck and screamed. I don't know. As soon as I laid down, just screamed. To the point where I asked our Father what to do. Shortly after I asked our Father what to do, my hand picked up the phone. I fought it, put the phone back down, asked again what to do. Shortly afterwards, my hand picked up the phone again. So I wasn't tapping out. Because you know what? I guess I was trying to prove myself that I was tougher than how I thought I was. So I prayed a third time. Alright, the hand picked up the phone. And I called 911. And the dispatcher asked me my location. I said Champaign. I said Champaign. And she said, I don't remember what she said, but she knew I wasn't in Champaign because there's not Champaign in New York. So anyway, we got that cleared where I was. And the ambulance showed up. And I don't know what happened, but I just started talking to the paramedic, asking her questions about the EMS, intelligent questions. Then I got to the hospital and started making jokes. I was going to go out good, you know what I'm saying? If I'm going to die, I wanted to remember as a joyful, loving person. Because that's not who I used to always be. When a person changes, they enjoy the new life. So I started making jokes. And honestly, no disrespect, but those nurses just didn't really know how to handle it. Because they probably expected me to be miserable, angry, hateful, loud, obnoxious. And that I wasn't. I thought I was funny. I was cracking out some jokes. I mean, even the nurse brought me a gown. Or no, the nurse said, here, put this gown on. What? A gown? Why not a tuxedo? I thought it was funny. So anyway, the point is, had I spent more time focusing on a relationship with my Father instead of chasing that dollar and building up my egotistical self of how tough I can be, how much pain can I handle, I probably would have experienced more blessings. And, well, the good thing is the VA, Veterans Affairs, covered majority of that. They covered a lot of the medical cost. I appreciate that. Anyhow, this over the road making a lot of money has been fun. I've met great people. I've met funny people. And I've seen a lot of children being joyful and acting towards me like they already know me, or letting me know that no need for stranger danger with this man. And that just tells me that my Father created a great person inside. And it's my responsibility to not destroy that. It's my responsibility to share the greatness that my Father has put inside me with people. They say, love your enemies and forgive. My Father did that with me for many years. Because when I went against His will, I'm an enemy. And He showed me forgiveness. So, anyhow, (2014) was when I put 100%. Well, sometimes I had to go to sleep, and sometimes I had to eat, but you know what I mean. My heart was desiring to get closer to my Father. Right now I feel sharp pains in my heart. Yeah. Wonder what that means, huh? Who knows? But if I survive, I'll share it with you. God bless you guys, and whoever cares for the better way of life, I give thanks to you for sharing the same goals.